Jeff, our topic today is going to be a good one. We're going to be talking about Survivor Series 1994. But before we do that, I want to acknowledge that we've got a live studio audience. And if you'd like to ask Jeff a question, it's easy to do that. Let's get to one right now from Trigger Cheese, who says, hey, who Jeff wanted to see heel that never turned? Was there a perennial babyface that you thought could have been money as a heel?
God, there's not many guys that haven't really turned, right?
I would have liked to have, I know he started his career as a heel, but I would have liked to have seen Cena turn heel at the end. I understand why it didn't happen, but it creatively would have created some new opportunities.
But wouldn't you say that he was such a lightning rod that the ones that wanted to boo him all those years, he was a heel to them during that? I don't even want to call it when he. That's okay.
I wanted to see him wrestle a different style where he's cheating to win.
You wanted to see
I wanted to see him against baby faces, that sort of thing.
Yeah, you wanted to see him play the role of an antagonist.
Yes.
Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, he would. I mean, I don't know.
Ricky Morton, Sting, Ricky Steamboat. Does somebody come to mind?
But I've seen Ricky heel. Ricky was a heel in Memphis. I've seen him be a heel. Steamboat, I don't think I would have really, even in his heyday or any of that. Gosh, that's like
Rey Mysterio.
Do you really want to see him be a heel? I don't know.
A little guy talking a lot of shit could be heat.
You know what? You landed on it. That would have been, if Ray would have bought into it and he would have been the cowardly chicken shit, I'm going to run from you. But then when he got on offense, hit all of his spectacular stuff, that could have been entertaining as hell.
I love that.
Yeah.
Jerry Manley wants to know, Jeff, do you consider yourself a member of the clique or clique adjacent?
I'll let Mr. Jerry, I appreciate your question. I'm like, I was pre-click, right? I mean, what is a word that you would call? I was, because it was
pre-revenue.
Yeah, there you go. But I was new generation. A lot of this episode we're going to talk about today, when I was reading the research, Savage is involved in this, just the new generation time frame. And me and Razor started our program, and right before Brian had been, so there was a time it was Kid and Razor and Diesel and Sean and myself in the van. And I don't know. Pre-click, I think, is better. What'd you say, pre-revenue? That's good.
We got one from Ty Claude here who says, are we getting an episode on Eddie Gilbert? Could you do a full episode on Eddie Gilbert, do you think, Jeff?
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Let's do it.
I just saw that was on X, yeah, a match me and him had. Eddie taught me a lot. I mean, how to work a 30-minute Broadway, which is a kind of a different mindset than a 60-minute Broadway. Eddie, we had that conversation recently, Conrad, about ECW and just kind of, I think Eddie had a pretty strong influence there in ECW that some folks may or not be aware of. But yeah, I'd love to do one.
Trigger Cheese says, to see a heel Cena, just watch him in the Total Bellas show.
Bingo.
Jeff, I know you're a TV junkie, but you couldn't get enough of Total Bellas, right?
I don't think I ever watched a complete episode, so sorry about that. Kind of, it would have broke your heart because I am a wrestling junkie. If you would have said, yeah, and I've said, yeah, I've watched every episode. Although I hadn't watched Sopranos, but I watched all the.
I would have quit the podcast immediately and just logged right off. Hey, Alex Wheaton says, this was the first time I watched the Jake Paul fight because it was easily accessible on Netflix. Chris says, I didn't pay $80 for the UFC Saturday. Kind of regret it. But with this on Netflix and WWE's PLEs on the cock, I just couldn't justify $80. That brings me to the point I was trying to make earlier, Jeff.
I was going to say,
do you think that perhaps pay-per-view is dead? Like, I know that we're promoting an AEW pay-per-view this weekend, but the rumor and innuendo is that the pay-per-views might be on a streaming platform named Max next year. I don't know that all the details are official on that yet, but we know WWE has been on Peacock, and now they're going to be on Netflix next year. It feels more and more like the streaming services. Like when you were a kid, you had 3 stations, ABC, CBS, NBC. It feels like, we expanded the cable. We got 300 channels. Now we have way too many apps and too many streaming services. Most of them are losing money except for Netflix. I feel like we're going to have like 3 or 4 major streaming platforms, and that has everything sooner rather than later. Is pay-per-view dying? Is this it? Is this the end?
So I'm going to say no. I've thought a lot about this, Conrad, because I really thought pay-per-views were dying when the WWE networks kind of came online. That, okay, we're moving away from that. Lo and behold, AEW comes in, does 100,000, that whole mindset. So I hadn't just thought about this today or the last 3 months or 6 months or whatever. But when you kind of look back and okay, we want to talk about Netflix. They came out. Oh, no. We're never going to have advertisements on, it's going to be ad free. Well, the almighty dollar definitely changed that. And I read in Synopsis today just how much money that tier is making. The ad tier is crazy. So Connie, when you kind of look back, cable television, oh man, nobody's going to pay for cable. Well, wait a minute. Okay. Cable rolled along, and at one time there were 110 million people in this country that were paying a cable bill. And so now, okay, that's kind of dying off, and the cord cutters, and now we've got streaming online, and Netflix is the only one. And now there's going to be bundles and this and that. And I think you're right. I think that there's going to be a consolidation, and there's going to be 3 or 4 or 5, or they're going to kind of figure, I guess you could say somebody's going to figure out how to get their sea legs. But when that comes along, there's going to be an event that people are going to say, you know what? We've got to make this available to make the most money. So you can buy it on this streamer, but that streamer is going to say, and if you don't have us, yes, we're going to cut a deal, and this is pay-per-view only. Because I just think if you supply and demand, you create a sense, Conrad, excuse me, in anything. If you build it, they will come with the right, invite them into the story, get the hook, create the fear of missing out. You got to be here. The people are going to buy. So no, I don't think pay-per-view will ever go. And now it can come in different shapes and forms and all that, but I don't think it's ever going completely away.
SaveWithConrad.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Soto. I live near St. Louis, but I listen to a few of the podcasts. Real and JR, 83 Weeks, quite a bit. My wife and I had experienced some issues with credit card debt, and I had heard the testimonials of others refinancing and helping alleviate their credit card debt. And so I had looked into it, and that's how we started. I worked with Larry. He was very thorough and was able to explain the entire process for us and made it about as easy as it possibly could be. It was far more easier than I anticipated it to be, actually. With the credit cards and everything that we had, we were paying the minimum monthly payment every month and basically getting nowhere for, I don't know, probably the last 5 years. And after everything was all said and done, we completely paid off all the credit card debt, and we were saving, after paying those off, we were saving over $300 a month. Oh, I would highly recommend it to anyone that's looking to save some money, because it was a tremendous help. I've already told my other friends about it. I'm Sean Soto. I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, and I have saved over $300 a month with SaveWithConrad.com.
NMLS number 2129, Equal Housing Lender.
SaveWithConrad.com.